When you're running a business, you always have employees that you're always constantly wondering whether you should keep them, fire them, promote them, or coach them. And I'm going to give you an easy way to decide how to handle your employees. Some people may say that employees are the best thing about their business, and others may say it's the worst thing about their business. Wherever you fall in that thinking process, I'm going to show you today how to analyze your people with data instead of using your emotions, whether you should keep them, coach them, or fire them. So let's get started. My name's John. I'm the founder of a lawn care company. I've been running this company for 40 plus years and have a lot of experience. I've hired more than 1,000 people, probably more, during that 40 plus career. I'm going to show you a little system that I learned how to analyze the people so you can make the decisions based on data versus your emotions. Let's go. So before you can start analyzing and collecting data on your employees, you really need to start with a foundation, which is core values. And I know a lot of times people think, oh my gosh, core values, what do those mean? I have some, but do you use them? You need some core values, and I'm going to show you why in a second. So we have core values, and we make them really simple because our guys understand simple things. We actually put our core values on this little credit card here. We have a big sign hanging in the shop. But let me read you some of these core values. Number one, a lot of people think that this isn't appropriate, but this is the way our guys talk, and this is our culture. You can decide on whatever core values you want, which is the great thing about it. But number one is get done. Number two, make mom and dad proud. Number three, show up. Number four, tell the truth. Now, there's a lot of things that define each of these core values, but we like to keep them simple. I'm going to show you in just a little bit all the little things that define all these core values. And we're going to use these core values as a measuring stick. So I recommend that if you don't have any core values, sit down and just decide what's valuable to you as a company. What kind of yardstick, what kind of measurement do you want to hold your people against? And so this is the purpose of the core values. And if you do have core values, this has happened to me in the past. We've had core values that we didn't do anything with. We got all excited at one time, created the credit card, hung signs up, put them on the walls, but didn't do much with them until we started using what I'm going to show you, how to analyze your people. So if you already have core values, let's go over them again, review them, and let's start using them in the next step. Now, after you have your core values, we're going to use the People Analyzer. And I actually took this from a book called EOS. It's the Entrepreneurial Operating System. That's a mouthful right there. And this little tip, this little system was in that book, and I found it extremely helpful. And I'm going to go over the People Analyzer with you right now and show you how we use it and how you can use it in your business. What's so great about the People Analyzer? It's going to help you make these decisions based on data instead of trying to use your emotion. Sometimes when we're using our emotion or our heart, it could be right, but we always wonder if we're making the right decision or not. And data is going to give us the correct answer of what we need to do. And that's why I like this system so much. We're also going to find out, number one, if we have the right person in our company doing that position. And then we're also going to find out, number two, if we have the right person in the right seat. So we may have the right person, but they may not be in the right seat, meaning that they got a lot of talent, but just not for that particular job or that position. So we're going to figure out right person, right job, right now with the People Analyzer. So let's go through this. What I put on the whiteboard here is a couple of our fictitious employee names right here, Sam and Mary, and then our core values. Now, I read you our core values, but our core values are broken down even further based on this criteria right here. This criteria goes in these categories that I showed you in the first part of the video. So some of those categories are kindness. Kindness to us means someone that's not only just polite and courteous, but actually someone that's helpful. Kindness to us means someone that's helpful, goes out on their own to help other people, help customers, help other team members. We have integrity, that's self-explanatory. Hardworking, reliability, ooh boy, this is a good one for us. Accountability, Does that person admit when they did something wrong and take corrections to change it, correct it? Keep it simple. We're a simple company. We love to keep things simple, and we like our team members and employees to keep things simple also. Execution. Do people execute on our systems? And frugality. We like, along with keeping it simple, we like to save money. We like to operate at a low cost. So we don't like to spend money frivolously. So frugality is important to us. We're going to get to this in a minute, but this right here, you just put a line right here. This is the right person. So this core value information I just gave you is going to analyze whether we have the right person. Over here, we're going to get to this in a minute. This is going to analyze and give us data and help us decide whether we have the person in the right seat. Right seat. So, right person, right seat. So what you're going to do is you're going to go through all of these core values right here, these detailed core values, and you're going to do three things. Number one, if a person has this core value, meaning they operate with this core value most of the time. Now, it's pretty hard to get someone to do something all the time and be 100%. So we're not looking for 100%. So if they do this core value most of the time, we're going to put a plus in this box. If they do not do this core value most of the time, meaning that they rarely adhere to this core value, we're going to put a minus in the box. Now, if they do this some of the time, meaning that sometimes they do this core value, sometimes they don't, they're kind of in the middle, or they could be swayed on either end of the spectrum, but it's not a definite, they do this most of the time, they don't do this most of the time. It's like, sometimes they do this, sometimes they don't. Then we're going to put a plus slash minus in that box. And then I'll tell you what we're going to do and how we're going to look at this data to make our decisions. So first of all, let's look at Sam. So does Sam operate with kindness most of the time? Yes, yes he does. Does he have integrity? Well, yes, most of the time he does. Is he hardworking? Yes, yes he does most of the time. Is he reliable? Yes, Sam is reliable almost all the time. Not all the time, but most of the time he is. Is he accountable? Sam has a hard time accepting accountability when he does something incorrectly or wrong. So he doesn't not take accountability all the time, but some of the times he does, some of the times he doesn't. So this is going to be a plus slash minus in accountability. Does Sam keep it simple? Yes, he does. Does he execute? Yes, he does. And is he frugal in his operations throughout the business? Yes, he does. So that's great. Let's look at Mary. Is Mary kind? You know, Mary is, sometimes she's an account rep. Sometimes she's kind on the phone. Sometimes she's not. So that's a plus or minus. Does she have integrity? You know, she's also a plus or minus there. Sometimes she does some things that just make me doubt her honesty. So a plus or minus there. Is she hardworking? Yes. Is she reliable? Well, yes. Is she accountable? Yes, she is. Does she keep it simple? Yes, she does. Does she execute? Well, yes, she does. And is she frugal? Well, no, she's not. She likes to overdo things in her business. She's always trying to add to the bottom line, not take away. And at times it's a problem. So that's a most of the time she is not frugal there. So we're going to look at this data. And as a company, this is a great thing. You get to decide the criteria. You get to decide the key. And when I say that, that means that you could say, listen, if someone has a plus or minus, that's okay, because I could coach them through that. But if they have a minus, they're gone. They have to be fired. So you get to decide whether you can handle one minus. Maybe you will handle two minuses, but you're going to have to build your own key, because this is company specific. This is founder sometimes specific, the way you want the culture to be. You decide whether you're going to let someone go over a minus. Now, in our company, as an example, if someone has a minus, we'll just probably delete them from the system because they're not adhering to our core values. And this is what we want everybody to adhere to. So if it's a plus or minus in our company, that's coachable. So sometimes they do it, sometimes they don't. That's a coachable moment. So in this situation, Mary here, unfortunately, we're going to have to let her go. Nobody likes to let people go. This sucks. It's hard to do for the manager. It's hard to do for the owner. It's hard to do to tell people they're not performing well and let them go. I don't think anybody likes to do it. And if you do like to do it, well, you're definitely different. But I don't like to fire people. But in this situation, you got to do it. Hard decisions, easy life. Easy decisions, hard life. You have to make the hard decision and let Mary go. So right away, we already know Mary, she's got to be fired. And we're going to do this pretty soon. So we have to let her go. Sam here, on the other hand, well, he's looking pretty good. He has a problem with accountability. So we're going to coach Sam on accountability. We're going to have conversations with Sam. We're going to define this core value to him and what that means for us in the company. Give him examples of when he's doing it right. Give some examples of when Sam's doing it wrong. And then follow up with Sam. This is not going to be one session. This is going to be a follow-up, maybe once a month. Just say, Sam, you're doing really good. Last week, this customer complained about this because you got fertilizer on the sidewalk. And Sam says, you know what? Yes, I did do that. I did forget to blow up the sidewalk that time. Great, Sam. I don't care that you did it wrong, but you're taking accountability for your actions. Wonderful. We're going to praise Sam in that situation. So Sam's going to make it right here because of this. We're going to coach Sam. So in this situation, we have the right person, and this situation here, we have the wrong person. Now let's move over to the right seat. The way this works over here is that this is a Y or N, meaning yes or no. So they either get it, want it, or have the capacity to do it. Now remember, we're talking about someone in the right seat. So you got to ask yourself, looking at your employee's actions, not what you feel about your employee, but actual data. Look at their actions, not what they say. They may say they get it. They may say they have the capacity for the job. Their actions will tell you whether they actually are getting it or they do have the capacity or etc. there. So don't look at what they say, look at their actions. My father used to say, son, your actions speak so loud, I can't hear what you're saying. That's great. So let's look at Sam here. Does Sam get it? Yes, he gets it. Does Sam want it? Does he want this job? Does he want this position? Is he hungry for it? Yeah, he is. He wants it. And does Sam have the capacity to do this job? Yeah, he's smart. He's emotionally stable. He definitely has the capacity to do this. So yes, Sam gets it. So Sam is in the right seat. Now, we already decided we're going to delete Mary here, but let's just continue on with this. Does Mary get it? Mary gets it. Does Mary want it? Yeah, she does want it. But does Mary have the capacity to do this? No. Based on some of the things she's done, she just doesn't have the wherewithal within her to do this, to get this job. She would be better suited for a different position than this job. So now you can ask yourself, if there is an N in this position, any no's, that means you have the wrong person in the wrong seat. You could potentially have the right person in the wrong seat. Overall, it means this person is in the wrong position. So you need to do something about that fairly quickly. So we could see, although Mary had some other problems, we're going to let her go. This isn't a good position for her. This is the wrong position. But Mary here has some frugality issues here that's just not going to fit with our culture. So she's the wrong person for our company. But if she made it through this stage and she did not make it through this stage, right person, right seat, if she wasn't the right person for the right seat, we'd probably try to keep Mary if we could and put her in a different position. Now, if you're a smaller company and you don't have another position for her, you're going to have to let her go because you don't have a position to put Mary in and she's in the wrong position in the situation. So now that you have this data from the People Analyzer, you can decide whether you want to delete or fire someone from your company, which I kind of think sometimes that once you think you should fire someone, you probably need to fire them because you're thinking that already. There's a reason why you're thinking that, but you can back up that thinking. You can back up that emotion with the data, which is the People Analyzer. Then you can decide whether you need to coach someone. Maybe they need a little help in an area. Sam needs help in this area. There may be a couple areas they need help in. So then you can decide whether you need to coach someone, or you can also decide if someone's killing it, knocking it out of the park, you can decide whether you should promote someone. Real quickly, let's recap. Number one, you need core values. You need to develop your core values and you need to use them as a measuring stick to analyze your people and to put them into the People Analyzer. Number two, you're going to use the People Analyzer the way I mentioned that you should on the board with plus or minuses. You're going to decide what your criteria is for letting people go. If you have 1 minus, that may be I'll let them go. If you have 2 minuses, you may say, I'll give 1 minus as a buffer, but 2, they're going for sure. You decide on that, and then you can run them through the People Analyzer. Number 3 is execute. Take action on the data. Take action on the outcome of the data. If you need to let someone go, let them go sooner or later. If you need to coach someone, coach them right away. If you need to promote someone, start talking about that to them and get them into that new position if you have that position available. You should be running the People Analyzer at least once a year. You could be doing it twice a year, and you could be doing it once every quarter, which is 4 times a year. You choose what works best for you. If you're not doing this at all, once a year is going to be a huge benefit. Thanks for watching, and if you like this kind of content, please like and subscribe. And remember, if a lawn boy can do this, so can you.